Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Dave C's G.I. Joe Commentary. In today's show, we're going to talk about G.I. Joe medias other than Marvel Comics or the Sunbow animated series. And there's a variety of stuff that came out back in the 80s. Anything from coloring books, books that came with records, books that came with cassettes, cassettes that came with figures, like 85 Listen to Fun Tripwire, or VHS cassettes that came with figures. But anyway, yeah, here's a coloring book. This is a 1982 one, and I have one of these in my collection. And yeah, I have it out here too. And there's Stalker, my favorite guy, of course. On the far right, you will see some Marvel Comics media, but I thought I would show these because these are smaller than full-size comics, and they're comics magazines, they're called. And I picked these up at a corner store back in 1986. As you can see there, September 10th, 1986. This one was on the shelf, and it's number 1. And there's number 2. And November 21st, 1986. It was at that corner store that I used to ride my bike to and pick up comics and chocolate and stuff. So these first two, well, not just these first two, all of these ones I have here, 1 to 5, I bought all of them at that corner store. And these are my childhood ones, so pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, they're kind of like mini representations of the full-size books. And as you can see, this one here, it has some Pepsi stains on it because I lent it to my friend Mark down the street. And I think his older brother Chris, he spilt Pepsi on it. And I remember he felt so bad about it when he gave it back to me. He was really worried that I'd be pretty upset about it, but I wasn't. Yeah, but they're neat books. Just because they're easier to carry around with you, and they pretty much just go through the entire Marvel run, like the first issues. And there's a lot more of them after these ones I have here. I'm not sure exactly how many more, but I only have 1 to 5, so pretty cool. There's in each issue, there's 3 comics, vintage comics that were reprinted in mini form. And I remember also going to the store then, they'd have like Archie and Heathcliff and all different ones. It wasn't just G.I. Joe. But anyway, those are cool. But I guess what I wanted to talk more about was these Ballantine type books that were for young adults at the time. And there were a few different types you could get. You could get the Find Your Fate ones, which are kind of like Choose Your Own Adventure. And I'm pretty sure all you 80s guys are going to remember Choose Your Own Adventure. They were a really popular book where there'd be a fork in the road every few pages, and you'd have to make a decision what you were going to do. And then based on that decision, you'd either carry on with the story, or you would meet fate. And that's why they called it Find Your Fate, or Choose Your Own Adventure. Choosing Your Own Adventure. So, yeah, here's the G.I. Joe version. And I have the first 6 books, actually. And there's quite a few made after this. But these ones were for 1985. As you can see there. The date. And the artwork was a lot like that of Hector Doritos. And I remember that. But yeah, it came with this cool bookcase type thing. Just pop it open here and look at a couple. There's one Operation Death Stone. And yeah, you would go through and then you have to pick what you were going to do at different points. That was a really cool thing about the 80s, is that the different multimedias were a lot more subtle and a lot more required a lot more patience than, say, a phone or, you know, computer that we have now. But I think a lot more enjoyable because of that, because you could relax and sit out and, you know, read a book. Yeah, there's a lot more than just the ones I have here. But here's a few covers, a few books. And then there were different ones too that came out that weren't Find Your Fate, and they were more just novels. And here are four of them. And the artwork I always thought was awesome for these. Kind of similar to the artwork that you'd see on the record player or cassette books that we had in the early 80s as well. You can see here some Cobra guys are getting blasted by, looks like Slipstream and Beachhead. And these particular ones look like they were from a little bit later on, I believe 1988. There's Crocmaster, Big Boa, Raptor, Jinx, and you can quickly see a date here, but I bet you they're from 1988, 87 or 88 based on those characters. Yeah, there it is there, 1988 Hasbro. So this series started then in 88 because I have number 1 right there, and there's number 2. And 3 is a space one, which looks pretty wild. And here's a number 6 one with Tunnel Rat giving Dr. Mindbender a punch in the face. Pretty cool. I thought I would do this show out here today because it's so nice. Didn't want to be stuck down in the basement. And kind of thinking what else I could do to make it more enjoyable to read one of these out here today. Because I love just sitting out here and reading a book. Well, maybe plant a tree. That might be a good idea. I'm going to plant a tree. Let's go do that. Kind of got to get down and dirty with it. Pull out what you break up. Where I live there's a lot of clay, so when you're going to plant something this deep, it takes a bit of time and a bit of effort, which is good, especially on a nice hot day like this. 32 degrees out. But I always liked the heat. Some people, they don't like it. But I always liked it. It never seemed to bother me. The heat or the cold, really. But anyway, so I'll do some more shoveling and get this a little deeper, then we can pop it into place. Gotta use this pickaxe here. It seems to break it up a lot better. this will be the last of 17 cedars that we planted this spring. And they range from 10 feet to 7 feet. And you kind of just put them up just for a nice little garden area to sit out and read and do things. So yeah, this will be the last one we get in. I'll show you the other ones later. Okay, put this thing in. I use this stuff from Superstore. It's like a multi-purpose soil. Seems to work pretty good. I used it in the past for well, trees like that. That blue spruce down there. Planted that a few years ago and it really took off. Now it's like almost 8 feet tall. So I kind of trust this stuff. So put it in there. Well, actually I planted those also, these 10-foot cedars, and they're doing well too with the same soil, so kind of like it. Yeah, we're not talking about those ones, we're talking about this one here. So just kind of put this in all the crevices. Just make sure it's packed down kind of good. Make sure the roots can breathe and do what they gotta do. Yeah, this one sat in a pot for a bit and looked like it was on its way out, but I'm trying to save it. This is like I said, the last one of the bunch, and it's 6 feet tall. You can see, I'm just trying to salvage it. I don't know if this one's going to make it, but you can see the other ones that we planted. This one here is a 10-footer, and they're looking really good. But yeah, anyway, read some Joe books or what have you. Okay.
No one's bitching 'cause there ain't no batters in Coconut Grove. Don't bother, door, there's no